In the year 2017, Fire Emblem: The Road to Ruin, a Fire Emblem 7 ROM hack, was released by Primefusion. And I'm your host, Pandan, and we're going to continue on today with Chapter 6, I think we're at. No, we're at Chapter... we're at the Interlude, Hard Truth. So let's see what this is all about. I think this is just one of those text chapters. So it'll be like English class where you just read the book out loud. In a cruel twist of fate, Axum falls from grace by committing a most heinous act. Once believed to be Mor's protector, Axum instead slaughters the small country's people. Worse, the Ixum soldiers behind the attack disguise themselves with Siberian armor. Cerberus is the frame for this horror committed by Axum. Vance learns the truth of it all from the Siberian knight Corvin and his sick goatee. Corvin explains that Cerberus had nothing to do with the attack on Mora. The mercenaries travel with Corvin to the Cerberus encampment. Here they wait and consider their next course of action. Interlude. Cerberus camp. Alright. Man, this waiting around is driving me nuts. What exactly are we waiting for anyway? Cerberus sent out messengers to the other countries to try and explain the situation and clear their name. Now we just need to know what they all think of this. Well, I'm fine with just sitting around. Of course you are, Buck. You're gonna be on the bench. What about Axum? I doubt they're okay with letting the survivors go. Or us even. Yeah, I feel like a sitting duck just waiting here. I wonder if we should just leave. I'd reconsider your options first. Oop, who's this? Oh, it's Corvin. Oh, hello, Corvin. Why should we reconsider? Our messengers have returned from the neighboring countries. They brought word on the leader's thoughts. So what's the situation? I would tell you, but my general would like to talk to you instead. The general? Yes, come, I will introduce you to him. General Ryzen, sir. I've brought the mercenaries as requested. Thank you, Corvin. Look at this dude's pointy shoulder pads. You are dismissed. Ah, so you're the ones Corvin spoke of. My name is General Ryzen. I command the Cerberus forces here. I'm Vance and I lead this group of mercenaries. So, you found one of the survivors, did you? You have my thanks. We didn't really do that much. The reason we went there was because we were attacked by Axum. We wanted to see if the rumors were really true. When we arrived, the village was already razed. I see. Why was Axum after you? We were working for Axum before all this happened. We had heard rumors of Axum spreading lies to everyone. I brought this up with General Valimar. He dismissed them, and shortly after that, they tried to kill us. Valimar. Yes, he seems like the kind of man to give that order. I met him once before this war started. That one time was more than enough. But that's besides the point. The real issue is Axum must be brought to justice. Speaking of which, now for the reason I called you here. Our messenger's reports. It seems Axum too sent word to the other nations and came up with some ridiculous tale for them. They claim that 3 people we brought were frauds. Mercenaries we hired to tell a nonsense tale to the world. Are you serious? That's absurd. Gets even better. With our conflicting reports, many of the leaders are indecisive. They do not know which way to lean. That's just fantastic. We've gotten nowhere. Indeed. However, not all is lost. Our own king is now in Prydain visiting. Prydain's monarch expressed sympathy for our position. King Dalman hopes to convince him to help us fight. And what about the other leaders of Pandosia? What do they think? Some prefer to remain neutral. Some may lean towards our side. Others seem to agree with Axum. Hopefully more will support us than them. One can only hope. So what about us? Where do we come into play? I have received reports about your group. You've done quite a bit to hamper our progress. While I'm not exactly thrilled with your exploits, the fact of the matter is that your group is effective. Since you're free agents now, I'd like to hire you. Well, if you're fine with hiring foreign armies, then okay. We'll work for you. Good. I've come up with a few battle strategies. I'd like for your group to act as a strike force, something that will unbalance the enemy. Let's start by going over this plan here. Man, I kind of wish we got to talk about the plan instead of kind of regurgitating what we already knew, but that's okay. I've just received word from some of the other nations. They appear to want to remain neutral in our little war. Thankfully, Cerberus' messengers didn't cause too much damage. My apologies, King Maravek. The men were given strict orders, no survivors. If any of those men survived, I'll make sure they're punished. Well, no matter. In the end, we got off clean anyway. Now then, Valimar, it's time to be rid of those Siberian fools. Wait, so does Valimar not know that Vance is still alive? Like, wouldn't Yorlu have gone back and be like, we done goofed? Like, Reese is dead, they escaped? Come on. I'll continue contacting other nations in the meantime. I may be able to swing Orontes to our side. I wonder also he's just posturing for the king, so he looks like he's in a better position than he is. How marvelous that would be. An excellent plan, King Maravik. We'll crush the Siberian bug beneath our boots. With our mighty armies, no one will stand beneath us. I put a great deal of planning into this. I will see that everything goes by my design. Look at this dude's nose. Now let's see here. Which of these books would be a good read? This one or this one? This guy's totally gonna get killed. My lord, a visitor to see you. Is that so? Then send them in. Greetings, King Althin. Pheasant King Dalman of Sabaris. I see you wasted no time in seeking me out. Your messenger just left 2 days ago. Indeed. When you heard the evidence presented, you know that Axum is in the wrong here. Yes, that is what I believe. Axum's tale is rather convenient. It seemed to prey more on old hatreds than fact. Sabaris has garnered a few sour foes in the past, yes? I plan to make amends for the failings of my great uncle. His greed was well known during his reign, and his disregard for his people was known even more. My mother did the best she could to help her people. I plan to do the same. Yes, I remember the events leading to the Morris seceding. It was a troubling time indeed, but that's neither here nor there. I think I know why you've come here, but I'd like you to tell me instead. These music changes, man. Very dramatic. You know that Axum committed these crimes. Mass murder and destruction of entire towns. Not only that, but they sought to frame us. They must be stopped, and you know that. But Sabaris can't do this alone. Axum is powerful, more so than us. I'd like to ask for your help in this. Will you aid us in stopping the vile King Maravik? Ha ha ha. Compelling dialogue. What's so amusing? Ah, youth, such a strong will and sense of justice. But you're right, of course. Axum's sins cannot be abided. Let us work together, my young friend. Let us be rid of the corruption of this land. You have my deepest gratitude, Alton. Let us hope this is enough to end this. Alright, so a little interlude there. And not too much to say. It's a pretty extended way to go about passing along this information. There was a bit of repetition, I think. Like, the player doesn't really gain much by watching Vance talk to Raisin about what's happening until Raisin shares his report. Like, for you ROM hackers out there, you could very easily just like do a cutaway while Vance implies that he's about to explain something, and then get to the part where Raisin explains the new stuff, just to avoid duplicative info. Because text can take a lot of time. One, it takes a lot of time to make, and it takes a lot of time to read through. Secondarily to that, so something to consider. Nifty little interlude, but we'll continue on with the next video. So I'm gonna make a cut here because we're about 8 minutes in, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time for some more when we go to Chapter 6, New Alliances. Until then.